Aaron Judge in October, I believe his OPS is 760 for his career across 46 games. We have reached the point. He also has the highest career strikeout rate in the postseason, which is both notable and predictable. He strikes out a lot, always has, even when he's good. We have reached a point because of the expectations that Aaron Judge has set for himself, the excellence he has displayed during the regular season, whilst in pinstripes. Those expectations are astronomical. And so if his OPS does not start with an 8 or a 9 or even a 1 and a dot, we are worried about him. We are whispering about him as someone who cannot handle the pressure in October. And I think that those questions are both lazy and fair and highlight just the wonky dynamic that is postseason baseball. We spent 6 months telling you folks, you beautiful listeners, not to worry about small sample size, that the marathon of 162 games in 6 months is going to allow quality to win out in the end. However, second the tournament starts, we flip it. Oh my God, Aaron Judge is 1 for 7. Should they trade him? And Aaron Boone was just as incredulous about this after the game. But at the same time, this is what we had to judge you on, right? This is the setup. And I don't think that they lost because of Judge. However, if the Yankees lose the next 2 games and he goes 1 for 7 again, it will be another winter of Aaron Judge in the postseason.
So the stat that was going around that was interesting, as you mentioned, they put on the broadcast, highest strikeout rate in postseason history. I don't know where they set the minimum at exactly, but I just pulled up. There are 105 hitters in Major League history with 200 postseason plate appearances. And Aaron Judge is one of them. Martin Maldonado, who is second on that list, is another one of them. Where do you think Aaron Judge ranks in OPS, his 760 out of those 105? And where do you think Martin Maldonado ranks?
I think Maldonado, there's 2 options here. 1, they're next to each other. Or 2, Maldonado's last and Judge is right in the middle.
2 could not be more accurate. Maldonado is indeed last by a lot. His 501 OPS is 30 points less than Josh Reddick, who is 104th, who's 103rd, Brett Gardner. Aaron Judge is tied for 51st, smack in the middle, with a fellow named Joe DiMaggio. So, literally, they both have 760 OPS. Jim Thome also has 760 OPS. So to your point, on the whole, there have been moments where Aaron Judge, but at this point, because now with the state of the Yankees and every single postseason game is the most important game in franchise history because, oh my gosh, they haven't been to the World Series in a bajillion years by their standards, that, yeah, I think you do have to judge about it. It doesn't make me think he's suddenly a bad player, but this is when you're supposed to beat the other team. And so far it hasn't been happening.
I think it is a small sample size theater thing more than Judge struggling in the moments. I think he is a steady figure and person who is not overwhelmed by any of this. You can't be if you're Aaron Judge, right? However, there is a chance that there's enough small sample size theater that builds up where it becomes a narrative, and that can kind of sweep him away if thing goes wrong, if it goes south. And like, I don't know what he's supposed to say at this point. Like, he was asked last night about missing a couple fastballs in the middle of the plate. And like, yeah, sometimes you miss fastballs in the middle of the plate. Yeah. Everyone does it all the time. Aaron Judge does that in the regular season all the time. And but when it's October, there's just the spotlight.
Exactly. And it doesn't mean he can't, because he's going to keep being in the postseason and he's going to hit some big home runs. Like, that is going to happen. But at the very least, it makes you appreciate the guy at the top of this list, Bryce Harper, right? It makes you appreciate the guys, Jordan, right, in the top 10 here. David Ortiz, of course, like Beltran, right? All these guys. Hideki Matsui, sorry, Yankees fans. I can name some Yankees that have done it. It happens, but it is still a small sample that we're talking about. And so it doesn't mean he's doomed and will never hit a home run for the rest of his postseason career. But as these build up because of the spotlight, it just feels a lot worse.
Jordan, who's an active player who's ahead of Judge? Who's not very good? Or like less good than Judge?
Who's not
on that list?
Again, 200 plate. Okay, here's one. Chris Taylor.
Okay, perfect. Stop. Moving forward, who would you rather have, Chris Taylor or Aaron Judge in October? Obviously, I mean, Aaron Judge, right? Like, yeah. And Aaron Boone said this after the game. Over the long run, like, I will place my bets 100%. With Aaron Judge, and like, so will I. And you just feel like the moment will eventually happen. He's too good for it not to happen.